If you cannot control your own thoughts, someone else will do it for you. This isn't a metaphor. It's a warning. Let me tell you a story that proves it. Long ago, in a kingdom built beside a vast, unforgiving desert, there lived a boy named Aaron. Aaron was not the strongest. He was not the fastest. But he possessed something far rarer, something most people live their entire lives without discovering, he thought before he acted. The king of that land was a man who believed only in brute force, in the strength of armies, and the height of walls. But as age crept into his bones, a new kind of fear settled in his heart, not of invaders, but of his own legacy. One day he gathered his people and made a stunning announcement. "I will choose a successor," he declared, his voice echoing across the palace courtyard. "Not the strongest, not the richest, but the wisest." A murmur spread through the crowd. The people whispered amongst themselves, confusion clouding their faces. How do you measure wisdom? Is it the number of books read? The number of battles won? The king, however, had a plan. He gathered the most promising young men of the kingdom, from the sons of nobles to the sons of merchants, and gave them all the same seemingly simple task. Each was handed a small, ornate sealed box. "Do not open this box until the sun sets," the king commanded, his eyes sweeping over the anxious faces. "Whoever follows this single rule will be rewarded beyond their wildest dreams." The task seemed easy, too easy. As the day began, the sun climbed into the sky, a searing orb of heat that mirrored the burning curiosity in each man's heart. The boxes, light at first, grew heavy in their minds. The weight wasn't physical, it was the weight of the unknown, the tantalizing mystery locked within. What could be inside? Gold? A royal decree? The key to the kingdom itself? Some shook their boxes, trying to guess the contents from the faint sounds within. Others huddled together, their imaginations running wild, painting pictures of unimaginable treasures. Then, the justifications began. A little voice, born of desire, started to plant seeds of doubt. What harm could one little peek do? Opening it just a minute early won't matter. The king will never know. One by one, like dominoes falling in slow motion, they succumbed. The first click of a latch was a sound of surrender. Inside, their eyes were met with the glittering shine of gold coins, the deep sparkle of rare jewels. The gifts were just tempting enough to silence reason, to make them believe they had made the right choice. By the time the sun began its descent, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, almost every single box was open. Only Aaron's remained sealed. He sat alone, the box resting untouched on his lap. It wasn't that he wasn't curious. The desire to know what was inside gnawed at him just as it had everyone else. It wasn't that he was afraid of the king's punishment. He was tempted, deeply tempted. But in that moment of intense internal struggle, he asked himself one simple, powerful question. If I open this box now, who is making the decision, me or my desire? He realized the impulse to open it wasn't his own rational choice. It was a command from his own impatient mind, a mind that wanted instant gratification. And so he waited. He controlled the impulse. He chose to be the master of his own mind, not its servant. At sunset, the king returned. He walked through the crowd, his gaze falling upon the open boxes and the triumphant, greedy smiles of the young men. He said nothing. Finally, he reached Aaron, who stood with his box still sealed. The king took the box from his hands and before the entire assembly, broke the seal and opened it. Inside, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. A wave of laughter erupted from the crowd. The men who had opened their boxes jeered, pointing at Aaron. "He followed the rule for nothing," they shouted. "The fool." The king raised a hand, and an immediate silence fell. He looked at Aaron, then at the crowd, and his voice boomed with authority. "This," he said, gesturing to the empty box and the boy who held it, "is wisdom." He turned to the others, his expression hardening. "All of you were ruled today, not by me, but by your own untamed minds. You were ruled by curiosity, by greed, by the fear of missing out. But this boy ruled his own mind." Then the king revealed the terrifying truth. Every box that was opened early contained more than just gold and jewels. Hidden beneath the glittering treasure was a false bottom, and beneath that, a slow-acting, silent, and deadly poison absorbed through the skin upon contact. The laughter died in their throats. The triumphant smiles vanished, replaced by masks of sheer horror as the cold reality of their fate washed over them. Aaron was crowned the successor, not because he resisted temptation just once, but because he understood a fundamental truth of power and control. He understood that your greatest enemy is not an external force, is not a rival, an army, or a king. Your greatest enemy is the voice inside your own head when you stop questioning it. This story is not about kings or poison or ancient kingdoms. It is about you right now. It is about every thought you accept without examining it, every impulse you follow without pausing, every emotion you mistake for absolute truth, every time you scroll endlessly by something you don't need, or say something you later regret. You are opening the box. You are letting your desires, your fears, and your habits rule you. True wisdom is not about knowing many things. It is about knowing yourself. It is the ability to choose which thoughts deserve to have control over you. The strongest person in any room is not the loudest or the wealthiest. It is always the one who has the power to pause, to question their own impulses, and to think. If you don't control your mind, something or someone else will. The choice is yours, every single second of every single day. Thanks for watching. Remember to think, and I'll see you in the next video.